The Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill podcast.
This is very cool. We've got Robert Irwin live from, he calls it home, but we all know it as Australia Zoo. And he's got a big milestone coming up too. How are you, Robert? You good, mate?
Real good, thank you. Oh, great to hear from you.
Yeah, I said a big milestone.
This milestone blows my mind. I don't know why. It's you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you know, my boy turned 21 last year, and I'm like, holy hell! You know, that was like my boy becoming a man. Robert Irwin is turning 21. Like, can you have grown up in front of our eyes in a blink, mister? In a blink.
It is surreal. It's really surreal turning 21. I'm very excited. It's gonna be amazing, and I'm loving my 20s so far. It's really cool. But it feels like, you know, when you turn 18, it's a big deal. But 21 just feels real. It's like, okay, you're an actual real adult now, and it's just, it's pretty wild. But, you know, I've got a great family around me that are so supportive and so excited to celebrate every milestone. So it's nice.
Presumably you're having some sort of party. Ash has had some difficulty with some of his milestones over the years, working out as far as work colleagues, who you invite, who you don't invite. For you, it's even more controversial if you invite the penguins and the giraffes don't get a start. It's something like that. I mean, where do you start and finish?
I mean, exactly. How does that work? Well, and we've got about 400 in our team at Australia Zoo, so it's going to be a pretty big party.
Hang on, is that animals or humans?
That's human. That's 400 humans.
400 humans.
So luckily we've got a solid few hundred acres here to work with. But it's going to be a big one.
No noise complaints. Yeah,
I probably a few. That's how I woke up this morning. The tigers were going off this morning. So it's always something. But I think the families they've organised a little surprise something happening. So I'm excited. It'll be good. And we always have a bit of a celebration at the zoo. You know, we let all kids in for free so that it's a good little party atmosphere here too. Nice. So it'll be a fun one.
Oh, mate, I just think it's you know, you've had all this success on TV and all the rest of it. It's gone to your head. I mean, look at the clothes he's wearing now. When did you get your first khaki shirt? Do you remember that? Like you wouldn't remember?
Pretty sure I was just born wearing a khaki shirt.
Khaki nappies, the whole thing.
Is your wardrobe just all khaki? Do you go in there? There's like 18 different khaki shirts.
It's khaki, beige, browny green. I mean,
when he was born, he came out in a khaki shirt. Actually, had his name Robert. We haven't even named him yet. I guess it's Robert.
You know what was great is just as we were getting ready to come on air for this interview, there was some type of technical glitch, and we've got the visuals up. But the technical guy from Australia Zoo had to come over to coordinate something for. He's got a khaki shirt on. Like, even the IT department, the IT has got khaki shirts.
Seriously, you know, we have a saying around here: khaki is not just a colour; it's an attitude.
There you go.
I love it. I gotta send you guys some khakis.
Oh,
you know?
I would wear that so proudly. I would wear that so proudly. What a bizarre. Just a unique. Bizarre is probably too strong of a word, but a unique childhood you've had. You know, you're stepping in like that. There would not be many people in the entire world whose backyard is a zoo. Like the fact that you just said them, bloody tigers are going off this morning. I mean, like, do you still pinch yourself, or do you take that for granted? Because that has been your norm.
Oh yeah, I mean, when you get up in the morning and jump over the fence and feed a crocodile, like it is okay to call that bizarre. I mean, that is not exactly the common childhood, but it's pretty awesome. I tell you what, like. Living at Australia Zoo, it teaches you so many lessons. I think it's similar to growing up out on a farm or out on the country. Like you really learn a lot of valuable lessons very early on in life. And it also, I think for me, I've just kind of built in with this real sense of passion and purpose behind what I do, and this real drive to continue a family-run business, a family legacy, and something that's just incredibly important to me. So, it's an honour to say the least. It really is, and not something I take for granted. But yeah, it's still surreal. It's still surreal. I remember my mum telling a story of when Bindi was young. She took her about till 3 years old before she realised she didn't just visit the zoo every day. She actually lived here. So yeah, it's pretty wild. Pretty wild.
The other cool thing too, I don't think, given the fact that you think of crocodiles and everything like that, and these sort of parks around the world, you've got to sort of go off the beaten track a fair way. Like this is like, what's the drive from Brizzy? So you've got for your life, you dabble in city living in a little bit as well.
Well, yeah,
you know what I mean?
We're right in the middle of it. You're exactly right. Yeah, and we're so lucky because the zoo's very different to a lot of other zoological facilities. We're not landlocked. We've got so much land, and that's great for our animals. They've all got acres to just roam. But we are right on the doorstep of Brizzy. I mean, we're right in between Brisbane and Noosa. We're literally right in there. So right in amongst it all. And it's cool because Australia Zoo started as a little 4-acre roadside park in the middle of nowhere. I mean, Biawar wasn't exactly on the map in the 70s, but now we're able to help bring people from all around the world to this region, to the glory of the Sunshine Coast. I mean, it's not a bad spot if you ask me.
Yeah.
And get to share that with everyone. We've got accommodation here now. People can stay. We've got an infinity pool going. We've gotten a bit luxe, but it's pretty awesome. The spirit remains the same. And, yeah, it's a special place. It'll always be where my heart beats from. Home is home,
Isn't it amazing, mate? And I'm glad you said that. It's a family-grown business and it's humble beginnings, and just to think where you guys started and where you are now. And we've spoken to Alfie actually on the show and spoke to your dad as well. That there was a Powers Bitter commercial that was shot back in the day. They brought Alfie up there, and whoever the cameraman was, I forget the exact story, but they were there to film Alfie, but Steve Irwin was there, and all of a sudden they went, hang on, this guy here, this guy is unique. He's so charismatic. He's so singular. We've got to do something with that. It's meant to be. You know what I mean? It was fate. It was meant to be. You are doing what you were meant to do. I really believe that. Yeah.
I so do I. And thank you for saying that. I think it's really cool. I think Dad had this ability where he could use his voice universally. It didn't matter where you were from, anywhere in the world. The passion, the authenticity, most importantly, that he had, it just shone through. Yeah. And it didn't matter where you sat, what your beliefs were. It didn't even matter if you liked animals or not. Everyone on the planet could get behind that message he had. Yep. And what an honor it is to continue that. There'll never be another Steve Irwin. That sense of spirit and living life at that level, I don't think anyone will ever match that. But hopefully, together, if we can keep that spirit alive, I think it's so important. I think we need it these days. I look around so often and go, gosh, I wish Dad was here. I always think about all the big issues he'd be tackling, and he was ahead of his time. He really was a conservationist at heart. So, I think that legacy has never been more important, and what an incredible individual. He'll always be a superhero to me and my greatest inspiration throughout life, that's for sure.
Mate, he'd be so proud of you. But
also,
he was one of the greatest Australians in history.
And, mate, I should say also, he was always very, very nice to us in all our dealings with him, which we never forgot, and as you all have been, actually, since then as well.
That's the funny thing. You got to remember, at his heart, I mean, he was just a bloke from Biawar. He was just he's a surfer. He's a local. I was down at the beach yesterday at Curramundi, and I'm sitting there watching the waves, and a couple of the old timer surfers come over, and they're like, "Oh, I used to surf with your dad, and he loved this spot." And he was just a local. He was just a normal guy that happened to well, have the entire world as a captive audience.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about how you can win yourself a tour of the Wildlife Hospital. Just before we do that, I was going to ask this question half in jest earlier about the 2032 Olympics, and we're going to host a sport at Australia Zoo. And the more I think about it, it's not even that funny. It's like, I don't know what sport it is, but somehow one of the sports has to be at Australia Zoo for the 2032
that'd be
Olympics.
so cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Crop jumping.
Something. We've got to work it in somehow, because that'd be such a great backdrop for the cameras of the world in the Crocosium or something like that. Seriously, I don't know what it is, but something.
I like it. Hey, I like it. I'm already that has just kicked off a little buzz.
Just think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it. Think outside the square with it.
I mean, that would
Let's
the
do it.
talkability. That would be so much fun.
Seriously.
Like, what an Australian message it went, and live from Australia Zoo, from the Crocosium,
Like the beach volleyball.
something. Mate,
Opening ceremony. Right.
Dream
Well,
big.
an element of it.
I love it.
Absolutely.
All right, now,
Definitely. Let's do it.
tell us about this partnership that you've got going with Hello Fresh and the opportunity that exists for our audience to get a behind the scenes look at what it's like at the hospital.
It's pretty cool. We've done a bit of a collaboration with HelloFresh, and they've been really great to support, our mission and what we're trying to do at Australia Zoo, but then also more broadly what we do at our wildlife hospital. It's all about conserving native wildlife. And so basically from the 1st of December till the end of Feb, if you get a box from HelloFresh, you automatically kind of enter into this draw where someone will be randomly picked to come to Australia Zoo to stay at our luxury accommodation, Crocodile Hunter Lodge, get the full package, the full brilliant Platinum Zoo tour, and then I'll jump in there and show you around the Wildlife Hospital and see
brilliant.
our wildlife conservation work. So it's a cool way to get out there and to just share what we've got here with everyone, which is what it's all about. And as someone who's into nutrition a lot, personally, on a real personal level, it's been a good collaboration, and it's really cool they're coming to the party to support what we're doing here. So yeah, it's pretty awesome, mate.
Nice. Well, we'll whack that up on our socials. I know you can go to Robert Irwin Photography as well. All the details will be up there as well. That's a great thing to get involved in.
I can't believe this kid's turning 21.
I know.
Hey, before our eyes,
Hey?
he's become a man.
How crazy is that? Oh,
Well, mate, we hope you have a great birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, brother.
Yeah, you're a hell of a
Thanks.
bloke, and things are going along great for you. I hope that continues into the future as well. 5.3 million followers on Instagram.
Jeez.
Can you believe it? Unreal. Mate, happy birthday and all the best.
Good on you. It's always awesome to talk to you. Thank you very much. Bring on 21. Let's do this.
Hey!
The Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill podcast.